In this video, we will be learning how to use the copy tool and all of its features. So to use it, first we need to put some objects onto the canvas. So I'm going to select this rectangle tool and I'm going to just place a square onto the canvas like so. Okay, and let's give it some color while we're at it. So I'm going to make it a solid gray. All right, now let's activate the copy tool. It is located right here under the ribbon tool, between the ribbon tool and the corner tool. So activate the copy tool. And then you'll notice that it just created duplicates of this square going around this little circle here. I can move the circle around and all of the copies are going to go around relative to this dot or this little circle that I'm dragging around on the screen. Okay. It is making copies of this square, 4 copies. So we can expand this to whatever our desired number is, and it's going to make that many copies. Okay. Under the number of copies, you have this scale. So we can bring this, if we bring the scale down to 10, let's see what happens. So it starts from the normal size and scales all the way down to 10 pixels. And then angle, this allows you to control the rotation of these copies. So let's see, it's at 360. What happens if we change it to 45? All right, 180. Okay, so that's the number of degrees in which it's going to go around. Okay, so this is 180. So 360 is taking it all the way around back to the starting point. Now, this distribute is set to around point, which means it's going to distribute the copies around this point here. And we can drag that point around. We can also have it distribute the copies left to right. Okay, in which this case, you still get your number of copies. You can still alter the number of copies, but you also can alter the space between these copies. You can distribute top to bottom, which is just like left to right, except it's top to bottom. You can distribute in a grid format. Okay, so you can control the number of copies, which controls the number of columns, and then the space between the columns and rows, and then the number of rows. And then the next option is going to be on path. So to demonstrate that, we're going to need a path on the canvas. So I'm going to delete all of these, and then let's place a path onto the canvas, like so. Now let's place another rectangle onto the canvas. Okay, so for this on path to work, you have to have a target object. Okay, so the target object in this case is going to be the object that we want to make copies of. Okay, so I'm going to select both of these, and then I'm going to activate this target selection action, and then I'm going to select the rectangle. Now I'm going to come over to the copy tool, and grid is still selected. That's why you're seeing this grid. But if we now go to on path, it's going to distribute copies of that rectangle along this path. So now we can set the number of copies like so. Okay, we can rotate these copies individually. So I can set it to 45 degrees, and it's going to rotate them individually. And we can also control the space. So right now it's set to 0. And if it's set to 0, then it's going to distribute them evenly from beginning to end on the path. But if we set the space, then you'll notice that they all come back to the beginning. And now you can control how far they go and the space between them. Now, what offset will do is move the starting point. It'll adjust the starting point along the path. So you just set the offset of where you want it to start on the path, and it'll adjust the copies along that path. It allows you to set the starting point for the copies. So distance. Now, what distance will do is it controls the distance between the path and the copies, and it will wrap the copies around to the other side of the path. And it'll also give you another offset, an inner offset. So you have two offsets or two sets of copies to handle here. So when I provide a distance, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to set the distance to 80. Okay. Now you notice an inner offset has appeared and it's set to 3. If I adjust the inner offset, then you're going to notice everything kind of follows in the other direction there. And then I can alter the number of copies and just basically have it wrap all the way around if I wanted to. Right? Like so. So that is the copy tool in a nutshell. If you've enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more updates, tutorials, and everything related to vector ring. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Ciao.